TIFU by encouraging my OCD boyfriend to develop a new inappropriate compulsion. My 28F boyfriend, 26M, has clinically diagnosed OCD. You would never tell from looking at him. Most of his friends have no idea. He works very hard to hide it because he doesn't want people to view him as his disorder. Only his close family and I know, and the only reason he told me was because I struggle with my own mental health issues and he recognized my medication. I asked him how he knew about my meds and he opened up about having anxiety, which was partly true. It wasn't until a few months down the line that he confided in me about his official diagnosis. My boyfriend feels a lot of shame around his diagnosis because his OCD involves a lot of intrusive thoughts. Most people think stereotypical OCD is being obsessed with cleanliness, or organizing and counting things. While he has a few of those compulsions, my boyfriend's intrusive thoughts are the worst. My understanding of OCD intrusive thoughts is this: really disturbing thoughts that play over and over to the point where the person suffering from them is emotionally or physically distressed. Everyone gets intrusive thoughts once in a while. I could step into traffic right now, I could push this person off the subway platform, etc. We ignore it and move on. But OCD jacks up the intensity and incessantness of these thoughts to the extreme. Stephen King put it really well in a short story. He describes OCD intrusive thoughts as an invisible flock of birds pecking away at the OCD individual. This person laughs, works, cooks, spends money, drives, and makes love, and all the while their flesh is pecked at by these invisible birds. Once I asked him how often he gets intrusive thoughts, and he said pretty much every minute of the day from when he wakes up. I understand fearing judgment and stigma, especially about a diagnosis that isn't really understood by a lot of people. But I'm so happy my boyfriend confided to me his diagnosis because he is the funniest and sweetest person I've ever met. He's always joking around and being goofy, and when we're together I feel like I can let loose and be silly too. We're always making each other laugh and acting crazy. It's really sweet. Before I met him I was really socially awkward, especially with guys, and never thought I'd meet someone who would want to seriously date me. He was the first guy I ever clicked with. He's very understanding and always listens to me when I'm upset. He's kind and considerate and just an incredible person. He has this big goofy personality and always tells me that he just wants me to be happy. His heart is huge and his capacity for love is bottomless. After he told me about his OCD, I started thinking about how to navigate it in our relationship, and I think we've evolved really well as a couple in dealing with it. His intrusive thoughts cause him to do very random compulsions that have no connection to the thought. For example, one of his physical compulsions is twisting his fingers up on a single hand so it looks like a claw. He started to develop pain in his finger joints because of this, but sometimes still gives in to the compulsion. Every time I notice his claw hand I, lightly, smack it until he stops, or I say something like, "You know I see you, right?" if the hand is behind my back or something, because he'll try to hide it casually. I've become really attuned to the claw, and he knows if I catch him he has to stop. When I catch him he laughs and relaxes his hand. I'm no therapist, but I feel like the way we handle his OCD is really healthy. I love him to bits and want to help him as much as I can. He's trusted in me so much and I feel honored for that. Through my boyfriend, I feel like I've come to understand the nature of OCD so much more. Sometimes I get frustrated because I wish I could help him manage his compulsions more, but I'm not a therapist and don't have the tools to help him the way I want to. But we work together and thrive through it, and it's been reduced to a very minute part of our relationship. I love him just the way he is and wouldn't change anything about him except for the distress he feels. So, on to the fuck up. One day we played Would You Rather, and I asked my boyfriend if he would take $100,000 if it meant he would make a gluck-gluck choking on a massive dick deep throat sound every time he ate food, even public restaurants. He said no. I asked, $1 million? He thought about it and affirmed no. 1 billion? My boyfriend laughed and said for 1 billion he would happily gluck all day on his yacht. The rest of the day was nondescript. Night came and we brushed our teeth for bed. My boyfriend always uses mouthwash and gargles it in the back of his throat. This time as he was gargling, he turned to me and mimed deep-throating a huge dick, gargling gluck through the mouthwash. I snorted and rolled my eyes and didn't think much of it. It took me a while to see the pattern. My boyfriend and I don't live together, but he sleeps over quite often. After the initial incident, whenever we brush our teeth together in the bathroom and he got to the mouthwash, he would turn to face me and gluck the mouthwash before spitting, pantomiming the dick down his throat. It became a running joke. He did it every single time. It escalated to the point where even if I was chilling on the couch or in bed already in a completely separate room, he would run out of the bathroom with mouthwash in his mouth and gluck it in front of me before running back to spit. It was such a silly thing I didn't recognize at all what it was becoming. One day, my boyfriend ran out of the bathroom completely butt naked to make me watch the gluck. After the usual laughing eye roll, I commented, "Is it really so important for me to witness you gluck?" He paused for a moment, then said in a stunned voice that he felt like it was becoming a compulsion. He had to gluck, and I had to witness it. That's why he always chased me down whenever he was mouthwashing. I immediately knew he was serious, but I couldn't help but laugh in disbelief. Could OCD compulsions be so specific? Even now, this aspect of the nature of OCD baffles me. Over time, due to repetition, my boyfriend strongly felt that he had to deep-throat his mouthwash in front of me with hand gestures before spitting, or else something bad would happen. I was like, wow, okay. We gotta stop doing this. He agreed. Feeding into compulsions only strengthens them and makes them harder and harder to resist the more you give in. Since this compulsion was relatively new, hopefully, he could still undo it pretty easily. It took quite a few nights of him confessing he wanted to gluck and me telling him to resist. Eventually, I realized we were brushing our teeth without even the mention of a gluck. Once, a few weeks later, out of the blue he started to gluck. I was already in the bathroom. It was a really convenient gluck for him, but caught himself. We both laughed about it and I told him I was happy he caught it midway. Fast forward to today and he's completely shed that compulsion. I'm so proud of him because fighting a compulsion causes lots of discomfort and requires lots of mental work, but he did it. There are still others that I don't even catch or am aware of because he is really good at hiding them, but I'm happy our open communication and lack of judgment allowed us to ease this one compulsion out of existence. TLDR, accidentally encouraged my OCD boyfriend to develop a compulsion where whenever he's mouthwashing, he has to pantomime deep-throating a huge cock and go gluck through the mouthwash. Me watching is part of it. BF realized it was becoming out of control and together we got him to stop the compulsion. Edit, wow, I stepped away and came back to so much support and resources. I really appreciate everyone who reached out with resource suggestions, personal experiences, and other tips. Lots of people are cautioning me about the line between supporting and therapizing, and I completely agree because the last thing I want is to inadvertently hurt my BF. I'm going to continue to look at resources and continue supporting him the way I have been. Mainly, I learned about how complex and unique OCD can look from individual to individual. It really is so complex. My boyfriend has the link to this post and therefore access to all of the anecdotes and resources everyone has been sharing, so thank you again.
If you liked this video, make sure you hit the like button and comment down below your thoughts. Also don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos like this.